MLB The Show is coming out in less than 2 weeks, and we're going to do a quick before you buy and all the new features for every single mode to see if it's worth it for you to buy the new game. So we have 5 categories across all the main game modes. We're going to start with all the other modes first, besides the 4 main game modes, which is just all the other modes, right? That's, the retro mode, there's the home run derby mode, the play now mode, all those other modes. If you really mainly play those modes, then it's going to feel like a roster update. The only real new features you're getting is just all the gameplay features, right? Which is ABS, pitch comp, bear down pitching, and big zone hitting. Those are the main features that you're going to be getting if you just play the other modes. I know it's a small portion of the players, but definitely wanted to mention that. It's going to feel like a roster update. I would personally probably stay on MLB The Show 25 and just update the rosters. If you think those, new gameplay features are worth the $70, then that's up to you to decide. But if I was just playing the other modes, I would probably just stay at MLB The Show 25, wait till they make new rosters on that game, which they probably already have, to be honest, and just keep playing the game. Now let's talk about storyline. Storyline Season 4 is coming to MLB The Show 26, and it's obviously one of my favorite modes. I love playing this game mode. It's absolutely phenomenal. They're bringing 4 new legends at launch, which is very exciting, and then they'll have 10 new legends total. They obviously like to release them, a little bit later on once the game comes out, which is definitely exciting. But yeah, I think Storylines is a phenomenal mode. It's one of my favorite modes to play. I love learning about the new legends that they have in the game, and sometimes, especially last year, we had like interviews and stuff, which was really cool. So I'm not really familiar with some of these new players, but I'm definitely excited to learn their stories. And then we also have a new stadium coming for the Negro Leagues Season 4 in MLB The Show 26, which is definitely exciting. So there's definitely a lot of new content here for sure. But if you just like playing storylines, like this is your main game mode, then I would probably say definitely get MLB The Show 26, but I would probably get it once it's on sale, because I feel like this mode is not worth $70 in my personal opinion. So I'd wait till the game goes on sale, which usually happens around May, in my opinion. May and June, they usually see like the first sale of the game. That's personally when I would get it. Plus you'll have all the legends out at that point anyways. So that's what I would say about storylines. I think it's a phenomenal mode, but if that's your main reason for playing the show, then I would definitely wait until a sale comes out. And I'll definitely be playing this game mode on stream, because it's absolutely one of my favorites to play, with all the storylines, all the history, which you guys know I love. So definitely excited to play storylines moving forward. Let's go over to the next game mode, which is going to be Road to the Show, which has obviously had some pretty major upgrades in MLB The Show 26. Starting off, they're adding 11 new colleges in the amateur experience, which is just phenomenal. So there's 19 colleges in total to choose from, which is just absolutely amazing. They've also expanded the amateur years, which is exciting. So you're going to be playing more college and more high school games, which I think is really cool. They also added the senior year. So you play your junior year at the college level, and then say you don't like where your draft stock is or anything like that, you could actually go back for your senior year, which is actually really cool. And obviously with all these new features, they added the Men's College World Series bracket, and you're going to play at Omaha, which is phenomenal. I think all those improvements are definitely what the amateur experience needed, and that's definitely cool to see how it's going to go for the first time in MLB The Show 26. But then when you actually make the MLB, you're going to have goal setting, which is very cool. You're going to be able to set goals for yourself, and you'll be getting some good rewards once you complete those goals. And a lot of them are pretty cool. You can get game-to-game goals, month-to-month, or season-to-season goals, which is definitely exciting. I think that's going to be a huge feature when it comes to actually playing Road to the Show long term. There's also the potential system as well for the draft. So before you get drafted, obviously there'll be this potential system for the draft, which is very cool. So you obviously got to build that up when you're in that amateur experience, which is just phenomenal. When you're actually at the MLB, you get to control your career, which is really cool. If you want to get traded, if you want to plan for free agency, or you just want to be a permanent DH, which I think is phenomenal. I think a lot of people might choose the DH position just because it is the most fun position in baseball. There's also new milestone cutscenes as well. So if you win like an MVP or Rookie of the Year or something like that, you'll have these really new cutscenes of you like accepting your award, which is absolutely phenomenal. They also overhauled the perk system as well. The perk system is very similar to the one in MLB The Show 25, but instead of earning them randomly or through packs or whatever, you actually have to earn them. So it will tell you get a home run in this situation, or hit a walk-off or something like that. So there's actually like defined goals on how to unlock certain perks, which I think is way better than the old system, because the old system was like really random, where this is you have to do a certain action to unlock a certain perk, which I think is a way better system in my personal opinion. They also have career simulation, which is pretty cool. So if you don't want to play every single game, then you can just simulate through your career, which is very good, because not everyone's got the time, right, to play all the games that's required to get through your career or a certain season or something like that. Or if your team's just out of the postseason or whatever, you just want to sim to the next season, that is also an option you can do. And kind of the last last thing they have is the new Hall of Fame Outlook system, which is the road to Cooperstown, which they've been talking about for quite some time, which is definitely going to be a way more exciting path on your journey. And actually, you can actually look towards something when you progress through your career. If you played a certain amount of seasons, you can actually get to the Hall of Fame, which is very cool. And it's going to be a long journey as well to get there. But with the Outlook, with the goal setting, which is going to increase your Hall of Fame score, there's definitely something to look for, when it might be a boring season, or, you're kind of getting tired of road to the show. This is going to be a great system to keep you motivated on playing. And there's also the call-up outlook when you're in the minor leagues as well. So you'll be able to see, how far you are from a call-up, or, how the person in front of you is doing or something like that. There's all this new logic, which is going to prove to you why you should get called up. And the goal system is going to help with that. The more goals you complete, the higher your call-up score gets. And then once you get to the MLB, the more goals you complete, the higher chance your Hall of Fame score is. So I do think there's a lot of really good features that they've added in the road to the show. And if road to the show is your main thing, which it is for a lot of people, then I definitely think this is going to be a really good game for you, especially because it's basically upgrading on the great foundation that MLB The Show 25 set, which is just phenomenal in my personal opinion, because that whole system is just great in MLB The Show 25, and they've just expanded it with the amateur years, with the new colleges, 2 years at the college level. You have the potential system for your draft. You can set goals now. You can control your career. The perk system's better. The Hall of Fame outlook. So there's so many things they've added in this edition to make it a worthwhile purchase, in my opinion. So if this is your main mode, I definitely think you should probably upgrade and get MLB The Show 26 if you were a big fan of MLB The Show 25. Now let's go over to franchise mode. Franchise mode has had a complete overhaul of how the trade system works, how the trade logic system works. They have a new trade hub where there's all these different tabs to go through, and you can see rumors, all types of stuff in there, which is phenomenal. They also have a new untouchables feature, which I think is really cool, which means you can't trade certain franchise stars. So for example, Juan Soto is never getting traded off the New York Mets, so he would be considered an untouchable, for example, which I think is really cool. They have a new streamline mode, which you're seeing right now, which is very cool, which I'm pretty sure means March to October is officially dead, because it's basically the same format, just you have less control of how everything works if you want a more streamlined system and you don't want to be overwhelmed or complicated by the franchise mode. There's new lineup and pitching rotation logic, which is great. There's bullpen games now. You can now do bullpen games, which is very cool. Now let's talk about this new trade hub, because there's a lot of things updated with the trade logic and the trade system. So season standings are going to affect trades just like in real life. The rivalry and postseason races is going to affect your trade logic, so you're obviously not going to want to trade to a rival or anything like that. Market sizes is going to affect trades as well, so the A's are not going to trade for a guy like Trey Turner or Corey Seager, for example. Position values, prospect ratings, and market segments are going to matter when coming to trades. The market segments is how many shortstops are getting traded, right? So if there's a lot of guys in the market, then, there's a lot of supply, right? The basic supply and demand, right? The prospect rating system is going to matter with trading prospects away or getting prospects, and then position values is going to weigh more with secondary positions. So if you have a lot of secondary positions, he's going to be really valuable when it comes to trades. There's also delays, dramas, rumors, and you can shop offers now. So you used to be able, getting a trade, you can view the trade. If you say no, the trade goes away, you're done, right? Now it seems like you can kind of consider that trade over multiple days and weeks, which is interesting. Change trades, change that trade or whatever, or modify it or whatever, which I think is really cool. And they've also added drama and rumors and things like that, so you can kind of see what other teams are doing in the market. Some of them are lies, some of them are true, which is definitely interesting. Kind of the same thing in free agency that they added in 25 with that whole system. And the big thing is they've also added a 4th trade slot, so you can now have a 4-player trade, so you can trade 8 players, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, you could do a 4-for-1 or a 4-for-2 kind of trade, which I think is very cool. That's something that we've been asking about for a while when it comes to the whole trade system. Yeah, just a ton of improvements to trades across the board, completely overhauling that whole system. And that's about it. The only other thing besides trades that's really been added is the addition of bullpen games, new lineup and pitching rotation logic, and then the new streamline mode. That's about it when it comes to franchise. Everything was focused on trades in the MLB The Show 26. So we're definitely going to see how this goes. It's kind of hard to judge right now whether, it's really good or really bad, just because we haven't played it obviously yet. But yeah, definitely some massive trades. This is what kind of we've been asking for quite some time when it comes to franchise mode, which is definitely exciting. And in my personal opinion, if franchise mode is your main thing and you like playing franchise mode, you're definitely going to like this 100%. I would definitely think you would probably want to buy MLB The Show 26 for the new trade system and everything like that, because it's going to be absolutely phenomenal. And I do wonder how the logic system is going to work. They've obviously talked about that in multiple years before, but I personally think it's going to be better. I said that about free agency and I was kind of wrong, so we'll kind of see how the trade system works, but I'm definitely excited to hop in and try out some of these new trade systems and kind of see how it works from there. But I definitely think for franchise mode, it's definitely going to be a good upgrade for you. do, especially with all the other features getting added. Let's talk about Diamond Dynasty, because next week we're going to get everything we need to know about Diamond Dynasty, but we do have some early things about the mode so far. We obviously know there's new attributes and a UI overhaul coming to that mode. The UI looks completely different, and we have all these new attributes getting added into the game, with some attributes getting removed because they were unnecessary, which is very cool. We do have the World Baseball Classic in mini seasons, which is exciting, so happy to have the World Baseball Classic back. I think it seems like it's gonna be way better than it was introduced in MLB The Show 23, having its own kind of game mode in Diamond Dynasty, which is very cool. We do have some new international stadiums. We have 2 international stadiums, meaning the Tokyo Dome and the stadium in Puerto Rico that I can't pronounce. We also have all the new gameplay features coming into Diamond Dynasty as well, which is very exciting. And then there was talk about a new parallel system, which is definitely interesting. Parallels before used to be, you know, 1. If you get parallel 1, you get +1 across the whole board on every single attribute. I feel like this system, you might be able to choose where those attributes go. So you might have like a point system. So say you get 10, for example, you get 10 points. You can kind of distribute that where you want on certain cards. I kind of feel like that's how it's going to be, in my personal opinion. Diamond Dynasty, once again, is going to feel better, because the thing about last year's Diamond Dynasty is a lot of players felt very similar because they had the same attributes like durability, for exampleness, or base running aggressiveness. Those attributes are no longer there. So the higher overall cards are actually going to be better than they were in MLB The Show 25, because they're actually going to be on stats that matter. If Diamond Dynasty is the main mode you play in MLB The Show, then I definitely think 26 is going to be a good upgrade, with just the World Baseball Classic, the new attributes, the new gameplay, all the new systems that they're going to have. Like, you're still going to have the collection system back. You know, there might be some changes to monthlies or spotlights, which we've kind of heard being rumored. I definitely think there's going to be a lot more interesting things in Diamond Dynasty. We just don't really know all the stuff as I'm recording this video. And I already know they're going to upgrade on what they did in MLB The Show 25, just considering how the other modes have played out. With that being said, that is every single main game mode in MLB The Show 26, kind of all the upgrades we're getting for each game mode. And I'm definitely excited for this game. It basically comes out in less than 2 weeks, which is very exciting. All the new modes have pretty substantial upgrades, which is nice to see, especially when it comes to franchise and Road to the Show. And we have, you know, storylines, the new season, and, you know, we'll wait on Diamond Dynasty, gonna have some probably big changes as well. But I'm definitely excited for this game, and I'm excited for the changes. But that is before you buy on MLB The Show 26. Definitely let me know down below in the comment section. Are you guys buying the game? Are you waiting to buy the game? Or what are you looking forward to the most? I'm definitely excited to hear your thoughts in the comment section down below. And with that being said, definitely make sure you guys check out all my socials. You can follow me on X for all of our updates. You can follow me on Instagram for all of our clips. If you guys want to talk to me more, definitely make sure you guys join the Discord. I love interacting with you guys over there. And if you want to support me or the channel, definitely check out the merch. We've been updating the site like crazy, and we're going to have some new designs dropping in 2026. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out, everyone.